The kettle screamed just as the rain began. Marjorie Kelland lifted it off the stove, the steam fogging her glasses, blurring the reflection of a woman she barely recognized anymore. The house smelled faintly of lemon polish, Tanya's doing. Tanya had been here again that morning, straightening things that didn't need straightening, opening windows that didn't need air. Marjorie's hands shook as she poured the tea. She wasn't old, not in her mind, but lately it felt like everyone had decided she was fragile enough to be managed, controlled. From the corner of the living room, the clock ticked too loudly. It always did when she was alone. She took her cup to the window and saw her son's car slowing in the driveway. The same white sedan, the same hesitation before he parked. She pressed her palm to the glass, whispering to herself, 3 weeks. 3 weeks since Tanya had said the words that replayed in her mind like a cruel lullaby. You're too old to live alone. Maybe it's time we helped you decide what's best. Helped. That word had teeth. The front door opened without a knock. Kevin stepped in first, tall, tired, avoiding eye contact. Then came Tanya, her perfume arriving before her voice. Mom, she said cheerfully, we thought we'd check in. See how you're doing. Marjorie smiled the way you do when someone mistakes your home for theirs. I'm fine, dear. Just fine. Tanya's eyes swept the room like a surveyor appraising land she was about to buy. She moved with that quiet efficiency again, folding a blanket, checking a calendar on the fridge. Each movement small, but together suffocating. Your neighbors mentioned they rarely see you outside, Tanya said softly. You must get lonely. Lonely, Marjorie echoed, setting down her tea. I've worked 40 years in a hospital, Tanya. I've seen what real loneliness looks like. Kevin's sigh filled the silence. He rubbed the back of his neck the same way he used to when he was caught lying as a boy. Tanya just worries about you, Mom. That's all. Marjorie's lips curved. I'm sure she does. Then, without invitation, Tanya reached for a photo on the shelf. Marjorie and her late husband, smiling outside the same house. You shouldn't have to live in this place all by yourself, Tanya said. We found a lovely community just 20 minutes away. They handle meals, housekeeping. Handle, Marjorie repeated, like I'm something to be handled. The air thickened. Even the clock seemed to pause. Kevin started to speak, but his wife's hand on his arm silenced him. Marjorie stood slowly. You two have planned this, haven't you? Tanya smiled, unbothered. We're thinking long-term, that's all. Long-term, Marjorie said quietly. For who? Kevin looked down. The answer was already there in his silence. The rain outside grew heavier. The sound filled the space between them, a rhythm of distance and disappointment. Marjorie turned away from them, her reflection in the window now a ghost among the raindrops. They left an hour later, Tanya's goodbye too cheerful, Kevin's too quiet. When their car disappeared, Marjorie stood alone in the doorway, the house colder than before. But at 9:45 that night, headlights appeared again. Her heart jumped. Maybe Kevin had come back. Maybe he had finally found his voice. She waited. The doorbell rang. Once. When she opened the door, it wasn't her son. It was someone Tanya never thought she'd see again. Marjorie's breath caught. You, she whispered, the cup in her hand trembling. The visitor smiled faintly. It's time we talked, Marjorie. She stepped back, heartbeat thundering in her ears. Because this was the last person Tanya wanted anywhere near that house. And they had come with a secret. The porch light flickered again as Marjorie stepped aside to let the visitor in. The woman, mid-40s, sharp eyes softened by time, walked in without hesitation, her soaked coat dripping onto the doormat. Close the door, she said. We shouldn't be seen talking. Marjorie obeyed before realizing how strange that sounded. "I'm sorry," she began carefully. "Do I know you?" The woman turned, pulling back her hood. "You don't," she said, "but I know your daughter-in-law." "Tanya." The name tightened Marjorie's chest. The woman gave a small, practiced smile. "My name's Lila. I used to work with her at Redwood Financial." Marjorie motioned toward the couch. "Sit, please." She tried to calm the shaking in her hands. "Lila," something about her tone, felt like a storm that hadn't quite started yet. "She didn't tell you about me, I'm guessing," Lila said, lowering herself onto the couch. "She doesn't talk much about her past, not the parts that matter." Marjorie sat opposite her. "What is this about?" Lila looked down at her hands. "It's about the house, and what she's been telling your son." The clock ticked again, louder now. "What she's been telling him." Lila met her eyes. "She said you're struggling financially, that you've been falling behind on property tax, and Kevin's been covering it for months. She's been using that to convince him to sell this place, put you in a home." Marjorie's pulse stuttered. "That's not true." "I know," Lila said quietly. "It's not, but Kevin doesn't. Tanya's good with numbers and with people. She always was." She leaned forward, her expression hardening. "I worked in the same department. 2 years ago, there was an embezzlement issue. Small at first, money disappearing in quiet ways, bonuses that didn't exist. Tanya was at the center of it, but she covered her tracks and blamed me." Marjorie's breath caught. "You're saying she stole from her own company," Lila finished, "and she's about to do it again. Only this time, she's using your house as leverage. There's equity here, right? It's in Kevin's name now." Marjorie's silence was enough of an answer. Lila's voice softened. "I didn't come here to scare you, Mrs. Kelland, but she's trying to clear her tracks again, and the fastest way to do that is to make you disappear from the paperwork. Once you're moved into that facility, she'll have control over everything." Marjorie looked at her wedding photo, the one Tanya had touched earlier that day, and felt her stomach twist. "Why are you telling me this?" she whispered. Lila stood. "Because she did the same thing to me. Took everything I built. My job, my name, my peace. I lost years trying to prove it, but no one listened. I thought I was over it until I saw her name attached to another property." Marjorie's voice trembled. "You're sure?" "I brought proof." Lila reached into her coat and placed a small envelope on the table. It was damp, but the ink inside was still clear. Marjorie hesitated, staring at it. Opening it felt like opening a wound. "Think carefully," Lila said quietly. "If you read that, there's no turning back." Marjorie reached for the envelope anyway. Her fingers brushed the seal, then stopped. A car door slammed outside. Lila froze. "Did you tell anyone I was coming?" Marjorie shook her head, fear tightening her throat. The headlights hit the window again. "Same car. Tanya's car." Marjorie whispered, "She's back." Lila's eyes narrowed. "Then she knows." The doorbell rang, sharp, impatient, like a warning. Marjorie whispered, "What do I do?" Lila's reply was almost a whisper. "Don't open that envelope. Not yet." The doorbell rang again, harder this time, and from the other side of the door, Tanya's voice cut through the storm. "Mom, are you alone in there?" The knock that followed wasn't gentle. It was sharp, controlled, like someone who already owned the right to enter. "Mom!" Tanya's voice carried through the door again, calm but tight around the edges. "It's raining. Open up." Lila moved quickly, stepping out of the light. Marjorie's pulse pounded in her ears as she pressed a trembling hand to the doorknob. "Tanya!" she called. What are you doing here this late? I forgot my purse, Tanya said after a beat. Can I come in? But something about her tone wasn't casual. It was measured, expectant, as if she already knew someone else was inside. Marjorie hesitated. Lila's eyes darted to the envelope still on the coffee table. Don't let her see that, she whispered. Marjorie slid it under a magazine just as she opened the door. Tanya stepped in, rain on her hair, phone in her hand, eyes scanning the room before she even said hello. I saw the lights on, she said smoothly. Didn't expect you to be up this late. Marjorie smiled weakly. I was having tea. Tanya's gaze flicked to the 2 cups on the table. Tea for 2. Lila stepped out of the shadows. Evening, Tanya. The effect was instant. Tanya's expression froze just for a second. But that second told Marjorie everything. You, Tanya said, her voice low. What are you doing here? Catching up, Lila replied, tone calm but edged. Your mother-in-law and I had some things to discuss. Marjorie looked from one to the other. You two know each other? Tanya laughed softly, though her eyes didn't match the sound. Barely. She used to work under me, until she was let go for, well, reasons. Lila's lip curled. You mean the reasons you created? The tension in the room shifted, like a current of static humming under every word. Tanya turned to Marjorie. I hope you're not believing anything she's saying. She's been obsessed for years, spreading lies about me, showing up at my office, sending messages. I haven't sent you anything, Lila snapped. But maybe I should have. Maybe I should have told your husband sooner. Tanya's jaw clenched. Careful. Lila's voice dropped. Or what? You'll ruin me again. Marjorie raised her voice, slightly, her tone cracking. Enough. Someone tell me what's going on. Neither woman moved. Finally, Lila said, quietly, she stole money from her last company, Mrs. Kelland. She framed me for it. I lost everything. And now she's trying to use your son's name and this house to cover another theft. Marjorie turned to Tanya. Is that true? Tanya's smile was soft, controlled, deadly. You've known me for years. Who do you believe? Some stranger showing up at your door in the middle of the night, or your own family? Lila stepped closer. Your family has been draining your accounts for months. Marjorie blinked. What? Lila nodded. Check your statements, your utilities. Things you never questioned because Tanya handled them. Small withdrawals, one after another. It's how she hides the paper trail. Tanya's voice snapped, the composure cracking. That's enough. But Lila didn't stop. You don't want her in a senior home, Tanya. You want her gone so you can refinance this place under your name. Tanya's eyes went cold. You should leave. I'm not going anywhere, Lila said, stepping closer. Not until she knows who you really are. Marjorie's chest tightened. The rain outside grew heavier, pounding against the windows like applause for the chaos inside. Then, sudden silence. Kevin's voice came from the doorway. What's going on? They all turned. He stood there, wet, confused, and holding a folder Tanya clearly hadn't wanted him to see. I came back, he said slowly, because you left this in the car. He lifted the folder. Papers spilled out, bank statements, property documents, and a single check with Tanya's forged signature. Marjorie stared at him, then at Tanya. Kevin, what is that? Kevin's throat worked as he swallowed. Proof. Tanya's expression didn't break this time. She just smiled faintly, the kind of smile that said she'd been caught before and survived it. Careful, Kevin, she said softly. You have no idea what you've just opened. Lila whispered, Oh, he's about to. And as the thunder cracked outside, The three of them realized this wasn't about a house anymore. It was about everything Tanya had been hiding. But what came next would tear the family apart. The house had gone quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that carries the weight of words no one is ready to say. Lila sat in the dim living room, staring at the rain sliding down the window. Marjorie's breathing was uneven, her hands trembling as she clutched a blanket she hadn't realized she was holding. Kevin and Tanya had stepped into the kitchen minutes ago. The door shut behind them, but not all doors keep secrets. From where she sat, Lila could still hear their voices, muffled but sharp. Inside the kitchen, Kevin tossed the folder onto the counter. The papers scattered, overlapping like fragments of a confession. "Tanya," he said quietly, "why would your name be on Mom's loan application?" Tanya didn't flinch. She took a slow breath, brushed a strand of wet hair from her face. "Because she asked me to handle it." Kevin's jaw tensed. She didn't even know there was a loan. "She forgets things," Tanya snapped. "She told me to manage her bills. I was just trying to help." "By taking her name off the account?" Tanya's eyes hardened. "You think I'm stealing from your mother?" "From you." Kevin's voice rose, the dam breaking. "I don't know what to think anymore. Because every time I try to believe you, something new shows up. Another lie, another missing payment." She stepped closer, lowering her tone to a whisper sharp enough to cut. "You don't understand what I've done for you." "Then explain it," he said. "Because right now, all I see is you lying to the woman who trusted you most." Tanya's lip trembled. For the first time, she didn't look angry, she looked cornered. "I didn't take her money, Kevin," she said, voice shaking. "I took mine back." He blinked. "What?" Tanya looked away. "You remember your father's business, how it collapsed. He borrowed money from my company years before we got married. He never paid it back. When he died, your mother inherited everything, including that debt." Kevin stared at her. "You're saying this is revenge?" Tanya laughed bitterly. "Justice. I lost everything. My company, my reputation, because your father walked away and left me holding his mistakes. And your mother? She knew. She just smiled and said, 'Business is business.'" Kevin's stomach turned. "So this everything, you married me because of that?" "No," Tanya said softly, stepping closer. "At first I wanted payback, but then I fell for you. You were nothing like him. You were kind. You made me forget why I started this in the first place." Kevin took a step back. "And yet you still did it." Tanya's voice broke. "I tried to stop, but when your mother gave me power of attorney, I saw my chance to fix what he destroyed. You think I'm proud of it?" Outside, the thunder rolled again. Kevin closed his eyes, shaking his head. "You could have told me. You could have trusted me." "I was going to," she whispered. But then Her eyes darted toward the living room. "Lila," Kevin said. Tanya nodded. "She found out months ago. She threatened to expose me. I didn't fire her out of spite. I fired her because she was right." Kevin stared at her. Hurt, disbelief, love, and betrayal colliding in one look. "Do you even realize what you've done?" he said, voice cracking. "You didn't just destroy yourself. You made my mother believe she was crazy. You made me doubt my own family." Tanya reached out to touch his hand, but he pulled away. "Kevin," she said softly, tears finally breaking through. "Everything I did was for us." He turned toward the door. "No, Tanya, you did it for you." He opened it, and Lila was standing there. She'd heard everything. Her eyes weren't angry. They were full of something else, pity. "Tanya," she said quietly, "you could have stopped this before it began." Tanya looked at her, voice trembling. "You think you're any better? You wanted revenge too. Don't pretend you didn't enjoy watching me fall." Lila didn't answer. She just stepped aside, letting Kevin walk past her into the storm. Tanya stood alone now, surrounded by the wreckage of her choices. Marjorie's voice came faintly from the hallway. "Tanya, what have you done?" Tanya looked toward her, tears streaking down her face. What I thought was right. But the silence that followed made it clear. No one in that house believed her anymore. And as the rain poured harder, one thought echoed in Tanya's mind. The truth didn't set her free. It exposed her to everyone she'd ever fooled. The storm hadn't stopped. It had only changed rhythm. Rain became a whisper against the glass, soft but constant, like the house itself was trying to breathe after the chaos. Tanya sat at the kitchen table, staring at the folder Kevin had thrown down. Every paper was a reminder of how far she'd gone and how little control she still had. Marjorie stood quietly in the doorway, her face unreadable. Her voice was soft, almost fragile. "You said you did this for justice," she murmured. "But justice doesn't leave this kind of wreckage." Tanya looked up, eyes red. "You wouldn't understand." Marjorie walked closer, her cane tapping lightly against the floor. "Try me." She hesitated, but then words began to spill out. The years she'd tried to rebuild after her company fell apart, how she met Kevin by chance, how she convinced herself love could erase bitterness. But as Tanya spoke, Marjorie's expression shifted. Not judgment, recognition. When Tanya finished, Marjorie leaned against the table. "You think your husband's father ruined you," she said slowly. "But he wasn't the one who signed those contracts." Tanya frowned. "What are you talking about?" Marjorie's gaze hardened. "Your company didn't collapse because of my husband. It collapsed because someone inside your own firm took the payout and disappeared." Tanya froze. "That's not true." "I was there when it happened," Marjorie continued. "I was still nursing at the time. One of my patients worked in your accounting department. He told me everything, how your partner, Evelyn Ross, siphoned the funds and blamed it on an unpaid loan from my husband." Tanya's breath caught. The name hit her like cold air. "Evelyn," she whispered. "No. She told me it was him. She showed me proof." Marjorie nodded slowly. "Forged documents. I saw them later during the estate audit. But by then it was too late. You'd already disappeared from the city." Tanya's knees weakened. She sat back down, pressing her trembling hands to her mouth. All those years of bitterness, revenge, and guilt built on a lie. "She used me," Tanya said in disbelief. "Evelyn, she used me." Marjorie looked away. "I tried to reach you once, years ago. I sent a letter explaining everything, but it came back unopened." Tanya stared at her blankly. "What letter?" Marjorie hesitated, then reached into the pocket of her robe. She pulled out a crumpled envelope, yellowed at the edges. "I kept a copy. I thought one day I might need to prove it." Tanya grabbed it with shaking hands. Her name was written across the front in Marjorie's delicate handwriting, but beneath it was another signature, Kevin's. Her eyes widened. Kevin knew. Marjorie's face went pale. "No, I didn't." But Tanya was already standing, fury and heartbreak colliding in her chest. He knew. He knew Evelyn set me up, and he let me live like this, thinking I was the monster. She ripped open the letter, her eyes scanning the lines. "Tanya, I know what Evelyn did. Mom showed me the records. But I can't tell you yet, not until I know how deep it goes. Please trust me. I'm trying to fix this the right way. K." The date on the letter was from 2 years ago. 2 years of silence. 2 years of pretending he didn't know. Tanya's voice was barely a whisper. He was never the victim. He was the judge. Marjorie reached toward her. Tanya, please, he was trying to protect you. Protect me. Tanya laughed bitterly, her eyes glistening with tears. He watched me tear your life apart because he was too afraid to tell me the truth. Lightning flashed through the window, washing the room in white. And in that instant, Tanya wasn't angry at Kevin anymore. She was angry at herself for being so blinded by vengeance that she never asked the one question that mattered. What if I was wrong? She sank into the chair again, shaking. All of it, all of this pain for nothing. Marjorie's voice trembled. No, not nothing. The truth always costs something, Tanya. Sometimes it costs everything. Outside, a car engine roared Kevin's. He hadn't gone far, and now, as his headlights swept across the house again, Tanya felt something shift inside her. Not guilt, not grief. Resolve. She whispered to herself. If he knew the truth all along, then he owes me one more. The rain stopped. The world seemed to hold its breath, because the next time that door opened, someone wasn't walking out. The rain had stopped, but the night hadn't calmed. Silence hung heavy, the kind that made even the walls seem to listen. Tanya stood in the middle of the living room, her breath sharp and uneven. The letter trembled in her hand, the ink smudged from her tears. The paper felt alive, like it pulsed with every heartbeat she'd spent believing a lie. Headlights swept across the window. Kevin was back. Marjorie's voice cracked softly behind her. Please, Tanya, don't do something you can't take back. But Tanya didn't answer. She was already walking toward the front door, each step echoing like a countdown. The door opened before she could reach it. Kevin stepped inside, soaked and exhausted. His eyes found the letter in her hand and froze. You knew, she said. Her tone wasn't loud, but it carried more weight than any scream. Kevin's shoulders sagged. Tanya! Don't, she snapped. Don't say my name like that. Like I'm fragile. Like I'm the one who broke us. He looked at her, guilt carving lines across his face. I wanted to tell you. I just didn't know how. 2 years, Kevin. Her voice trembled. 2 years you watched me hate myself. You watched me hate your mother. You let me believe she ruined me. You let me become everything I swore I'd never be. Kevin took a step forward. You were spiraling. I thought the truth would destroy you. She laughed bitterly, and lying didn't. Marjorie tried to intervene, her voice pleading. Kevin, she deserves the truth. All of it. But he couldn't look at either of them. His gaze dropped to the floor. It wasn't just Evelyn, he said quietly. There was someone else. Tanya frowned. What do you mean? Kevin's voice broke. She didn't act alone. She had help inside your company. Someone you trusted completely. Her stomach twisted. Who? Kevin hesitated. Your brother, Daniel. The name hit her like a punch. For a moment, everything in the room went still. Even the old clock stopped ticking. That's not true, Tanya whispered. He was all I had left after my father died. Kevin's eyes filled with regret. He took the bribe, Tanya. Evelyn set it up, but he delivered the documents that blamed my father. I found the wire transfers. I've been tracking them for months. She shook her head, stepping back as if distance could erase the words. No, you're lying. You're just. Kevin reached into his jacket and pulled out a flash drive, placing it on the table between them. Everything's on here, he said. Emails, payments, dates. Marjorie watched, her hand covering her mouth. Oh my God! Tanya stared at the small piece of plastic like it was a weapon. In a way, it had the power to destroy everything she'd built her anger upon. Tanya's voice cracked. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because, Kevin said softly, you weren't ready to hear it. You wanted someone to blame, and I wasn't sure if, once you had the truth, you'd still love me. Her tears fell, sharp and silent. You let me live in hell to protect your fear. He reached for her hand. I was trying to protect us. But Tanya stepped back. No, you were protecting your silence. She turned to Marjorie, her voice breaking. He knew, and he watched me tear your life apart. All those words I said, all those fights. Marjorie's eyes glistened. Sometimes silence betrays deeper than lies. Kevin's voice rose now, desperate. You don't understand what it's like to love someone who's already drowning. I thought if I kept it quiet, we could move forward. Forward. Tanya's laugh was hollow. There's no forward when everything behind you is a graveyard. She grabbed the flash drive. Her hand shook. So this little thing has the truth you buried? Kevin nodded slowly. Yes, but it can also fix everything. Tanya looked at him, really looked. The man she once believed had saved her now stood as the man who had hidden her from the truth. She walked toward the fireplace, her movements calm, too calm. Fix everything, she repeated softly. You think truth fixes betrayal. Kevin's voice wavered. Tanya, what are you doing? She held the flash drive over the flame. For a moment, her reflection shimmered in the firelight, broken, beautiful, furious. Truth doesn't fix things, she whispered. It exposes them. The plastic began to melt. Kevin lunged forward. Tanya, no. But it was too late. The drive slipped from her fingers into the fire. The flash of light was brief, but the silence that followed was endless. Marjorie gasped. Oh my God! Tanya! Tanya turned to them both, tears mixing with ash. Now there's nothing left to hide. The fire popped loudly, echoing through the room like a gunshot. Kevin stood frozen, staring at the flames consuming the only proof of truth. Tanya whispered, her voice trembling yet steady. You both kept secrets from me. Now we're even. Outside, thunder rolled again, farther away this time, but heavier. And as Tanya walked out into the night, the last thing Kevin heard was her voice carried by the wind. You wanted silence, Kevin. Now you'll have it. The house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that hums in your bones. Not peace, but the echo of something broken. Kevin stood in front of the fireplace long after Tanya had gone, the smoke still curling upward from what was left of the flash drive. Plastic residue clung to the iron grate, glowing faintly like the memory of a wound refusing to heal. Marjorie sat in the corner chair, her face pale in the flickering light. She looked small, like the air itself had pressed her down. Kevin, she whispered, you have to go after her. He didn't move. If she wanted to be found, she wouldn't have walked out that door. She's hurt, Marjorie said, and people who hurt that deep they don't think straight. Kevin rubbed his face with trembling hands. She burned everything, Mom. All of it. Every file, every proof. She destroyed the one thing that could have cleared Dad's name. Marjorie's eyes glistened. Maybe she didn't burn it to destroy it. He frowned. What do you mean? Maybe she wanted to start over. Maybe this is her way of taking control. Kevin looked toward the door, rainwater still dripping from the doormat. He wanted to believe that, but the look on Tanya's face before she left, it wasn't control. It was collapse. A gust of wind slammed the shutters against the side of the house, snapping him back. He grabbed his coat. I'm going after her. Marjorie stood too. You can't go alone. But Kevin was already out the door, his voice barely audible over the storm. Stay inside, Mom. The street was empty, the rain turning into mist. Tanya's car was gone. Only the faint glow of taillights in the distance hinted which direction she'd taken. He ran until his lungs burned, but the night swallowed her whole. Hours later, Kevin returned, drenched, shivering, and defeated. Marjorie was still awake, sitting at the kitchen table, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders. A cup of untouched tea sat beside her. "She's not answering her phone," he said hoarsely. "I checked the old cabin, the road by the lake, nothing." Marjorie stared down at the table. "Tanya's smarter than we think." Kevin sat opposite her, his hands trembling. "She's angry, broken. I don't know what she'll do." Marjorie hesitated. Then, slowly, she pushed something across the table, a folded piece of paper. Kevin blinked. "What's this?" "She dropped it," Marjorie said quietly, "when she left." He opened it. Inside, written in Tanya's handwriting, were just 3 words. "You'll find out." Beneath it, a time and address. Kevin's pulse quickened. That's the old Burnley Hospital. It's been shut down for years. Marjorie's expression changed, worry and confusion blending into dread. Why would she go there? Kevin's voice was barely a whisper. "That's where Dad used to work." They exchanged a long, silent look. The air in the room thickened, past grief and current fear mixing into something new. Marjorie reached across the table, clutching his hand. "Whatever she's planning, Kevin, it's not over. You know that, don't you?" He nodded slowly, staring at the paper like it was an omen. She said, "We'd have silence." He looked up, eyes dark. "But that note means she's not done talking." A single thunderclap rolled outside, shaking the windows. Marjorie turned toward the sound, whispering almost to herself, "Then God help us when she starts." The Burnley Hospital stood at the edge of town like a scar that never healed, its windows boarded, its hallways swallowed by silence. The moonlight caught on shards of broken glass, glinting faintly like eyes watching from the dark. Kevin parked the car a few yards away, headlights off. The rain had stopped, leaving only the sound of dripping gutters and the whisper of wind through weeds. He gripped the steering wheel, staring at the crumbling facade. He hadn't been here since he was a teenager. His father used to work in this very building, back when it still smelled like antiseptic and coffee instead of rot and dust. Back before the scandal, before everything fell apart. Now it looked like a monument to secrets, and Tanya had led him right to it. He stepped out, the gravel crunching under his boots. His flashlight flickered to life, cutting through the dark. The front doors were chained shut, but there, taped to the handle, was an envelope. His heart lurched. Kevin, written in Tanya's handwriting. He tore it open, the paper damp but legible. "You said silence protects. Let's see how it feels when it's the only thing left." Below the message was a key, old, rusted, but marked basement access. Kevin's pulse quickened. Basement. He circled around the side of the building, finding the old staff entrance. The lock was stiff, but the key fit perfectly. As the door creaked open, the smell of mold and rust hit him like a wave. Inside, his flashlight beam trembled against the peeling walls. Faded posters still clung to the corridors. "Wash your hands. Every life matters." He swallowed hard. The deeper he went, the colder it got. The air felt alive, heavy with memory. Finally, he reached the basement stairs. His light caught something scrawled on the wall. Black paint, smeared and uneven. "You never asked why." Kevin's breath hitched. He stepped down slowly, his hand grazing the rail. The basement was mostly empty, except for one flickering bulb hanging from a cord. Beneath it stood an old metal table, and on it a stack of folders. His father's name was on the first one. He opened it and froze. Inside were patient reports, signatures, and handwritten notes, all linked to a medical trial from years ago, the one that ended his father's career. But something was wrong. The signatures on the bottom pages, they weren't his father's handwriting. They were forged. "Tanya," he breathed, "you found this." A voice came from the shadows. "I didn't just find it." Kevin spun around. Tanya stood in the corner, half in light, half in darkness. Her face was streaked with tears, her expression unreadable. "I bought it," she said, "from the same man who forged them." Kevin's chest tightened. "Why would you?" "Because," Tanya cut in, "your father didn't destroy my family, Kevin. Mine did." Her voice cracked, trembling between rage and sorrow. She stepped forward, holding a faded photograph of her father, sitting beside Kevin's in a hospital office. "They were partners," she said, "and when the scandal broke, mine let yours take the fall. He paid off the board, erased his name, and walked away clean. I spent years hating the wrong man." Kevin stared at her, stunned. "You knew this?" "I found out last week," she whispered, "after Evelyn died. She sent me the files, said it was time the truth surfaced." Kevin's jaw clenched. "Then why burn the drive?" "Because the truth doesn't fix the past," Tanya said, her eyes glassy. "It only reopens it." She turned to the table, brushing her fingers over the papers. "Your father lost everything to protect a man who betrayed him. Mine gained everything by letting him burn. Tell me, Kevin, what kind of justice is that?" Kevin stepped closer, voice low. "The kind that eats everyone it touches." For a moment, neither spoke. Only the hum of the flickering light filled the room. Then Tanya looked up, her expression shifting, almost peaceful now. "Do you see, Kevin? This wasn't just about us. It was about what betrayal builds. How it never really ends, it just changes hands." Kevin's voice broke. "What did you do, Tanya?" Her eyes softened. "I sent copies of these documents to the board, to the press, to every person who buried the truth. By morning, the world will know everything." Kevin's heart dropped. "That'll destroy both families." She nodded. "Yes, but maybe destruction is the only honest thing left." The bulb flickered again, once, twice, then went out. In the dark, Kevin called out, "Tanya!" But there was only silence. When his flashlight came back on, she was gone. Only the photo remained on the table. 2 men smiling before everything went wrong. And under it, a new note written in Tanya's hand. "You'll find out what betrayal feels like when truth chooses you." The light buzzed faintly, then died for good. Kevin stood alone in the dark, the weight of her words pressing down. And somewhere outside, an engine started fading into the night. Morning came like a storm, not with thunder, but with headlines. Kevin woke to his phone vibrating endlessly on the nightstand. Notifications, missed calls, messages from numbers he didn't recognize. His name, his father's name, were everywhere. Medical cover-up scandal reopened after anonymous data leak. 2 former hospital partners accused of decades-old fraud. Truth comes out at a terrible cost. Kevin sat on the edge of his bed, staring blankly at the screen. Tanya had done it. Every file, every record she'd found in that basement was now public. The names, the signatures, the lies, all exposed. And just like that, the past wasn't buried anymore. It was breathing again, wild and uncontrollable. He opened one article and froze. His father's photo beside Tanya's father's, both labeled co-conspirators. His stomach turned. The world didn't care who was guilty anymore. It wanted someone to blame. The doorbell rang. Hard, relentless. Kevin hesitated, then opened the door. Marjorie stood there, eyes red, hair disheveled. a newspaper clutched in her shaking hand. "You knew," she said quietly. He swallowed. "Not like this." Her voice rose. "Not like this? Kevin, she ruined us. You told me you ended it, that Tanya was gone." Kevin stepped aside. "Come in. You should see this." Inside, the TV blared with a news segment. Tanya's image filled the screen, a still photo from an old hospital gala, her smile hauntingly calm. Anonymous sources confirm the leak originated from a whistleblower believed to have ties to both families involved in the 1998 Burnley trial scandal. Marjorie turned toward him, trembling. She planned this. Every word, every step, she wanted us to suffer. Kevin shook his head, slowly. "No, I think she wanted the truth to suffer us." Marjorie's expression hardened. "She's not finished, Kevin." He looked at her. "What do you mean?" Marjorie dropped the newspaper on the table. "Because this isn't how Tanya works. She doesn't just reveal things. She tests people. That story she fed the press, it's only part of it." Kevin frowned. "You think she's still out there?" "I know she is," Marjorie said, voice low and certain. "And she's watching how we react." Just then, Kevin's phone buzzed again, this time with a text message. Unknown number. He opened it. A video file. He played it. The screen flickered, and Tanya's face appeared, filmed in a dimly lit room. Her voice calm, deliberate, chillingly intimate. "If you're watching this, it means the world finally knows. But truth is a mirror, and mirrors only show what's already inside. So here's my question, Kevin. When the reflection turns on you, will you still say I was the betrayer?" The video ended abruptly. Marjorie stepped back, whispering, "She's setting you up." Kevin's pulse raced. "For what?" Marjorie's eyes darted to the window, where reporters were already gathering at the gate. Cameras flashing. Voices shouting his name. "For your confession," she said, "or your destruction." He looked back at the video file, replaying the last frame. Tanya's eyes staring straight into the lens. Not angry, not vengeful, almost waiting. Marjorie grabbed her coat. "We have to get ahead of this, before she drops whatever's next." Kevin's voice was hollow. "You really think she has more?" Marjorie met his gaze, a slow, grim nod. "Tanya always leaves one truth unopened." Outside, the noise grew louder. Inside, the air felt heavier, charged, like the silence before lightning strikes. And then, Kevin's phone chimed again. Another message. This time, just a single line. "Check your father's grave." Marjorie's face went pale. "Oh God, she's not done." Kevin grabbed his jacket, his mind spinning. The story wasn't over. The fallout wasn't final. Tanya's game, whatever it was, had one last move. And for the first time since she vanished, Kevin realized the truth Tanya promised wasn't about the past. It was about what comes next. Rain fell in soft, steady sheets, the kind that made everything quiet, like the world was holding its breath. Kevin stood at the edge of the cemetery, coat soaked through, the ground beneath him soft with mud. The air smelled of wet grass and something else, something like finality. He hadn't been here in years. Not since the funeral. Not since the day he swore he'd never come back. Now Tanya had brought him here. Even in absence, she was still pulling the strings. His flashlight beam trembled across the carved stone. Dr. Nathaniel Rowe, 1957 to 2015. Beloved father, respected surgeon. Kevin knelt, brushing off the layer of leaves at the grave's base, and froze. There was something there, a small metal box half buried in the mud. He dug it out, hands shaking. The latch was rusted, but it gave way with a soft click. Inside, a flash drive sealed in a plastic bag, and a folded letter. The handwriting on the envelope was Tanya's. Kevin's pulse thudded in his ears as he unfolded the paper. Kevin, I know you'll come here. You always needed to know why. What you found in the hospital wasn't the whole truth, just the part that was easy to hate. Your father and mine didn't just falsify records for money. They did it to hide something, someone. Me. Kevin's breath caught. When I was a child, I was the test case. The surgery they called a miracle was actually a mistake. Your father saved my life, but at a cost they couldn't admit. The hospital buried it, and both our families paid for that lie in different ways. I didn't come back for revenge, Kevin. I came back so the truth wouldn't die with them. So maybe, just maybe, we'd both be free. Kevin's hands trembled as the rain smudged the ink. I leaked everything because I needed the world to see what truth looks like. Not pretty, not perfect, but real. I wanted to show you that betrayal isn't always evil. Sometimes it's the only language honesty has left. The flash drive has one final file. It's not evidence. It's a confession. From him. Your father. Kevin stared at the flash drive. For a long moment he couldn't move. Then he rose slowly, wiping rain from his face, and turned back toward the car. Inside, he plugged it into the dashboard screen. The file autoplayed a video grainy old. His father sat behind a desk, eyes tired but clear. If you're seeing this, I'm gone. Kevin, I did what I did because I believed the ends justified the means. But I lied to a child, to Tanya. I made her believe she was saved by medicine, not by guilt. Tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I never forgot. The screen flickered, then went black. Kevin sat in silence. The rain drummed softly on the windshield. For the first time, he understood Tanya hadn't been destroying him. She'd been finishing what his father started, telling the truth no one else had the courage to face. He looked toward the graveyard, the rain now falling lighter like a blessing. His phone buzzed one last time. Another message, no number. Just 2 words. We're even.